welcome or welcome back to my channel, to our channel. I'm Christina and I make ASMR videos, and this is going to be a mystery, a true crime ASMR story. Thank you very much for clicking and giving my video a chance. If you are new here and you don't enjoy true crime stories, please check my channel. I love creating role plays. Maybe you find something that you enjoy. I have been trying for a while to find the perfect moment to film, and I really wanted to film a roleplay last night, but my neighbors had a birthday party in the pool, and there were about 10 children playing in the pool and shouting and singing, and it all ended up at midnight with fireworks. Now it's Sunday night and I hope that nothing happens. Let's hope for the better. So sit back, relax, close your eyes if you want. I'm coming tonight with a very serious story. The story of a young woman called Amy Bradley. And I need to start by saying thank you for suggesting this case to me. I remember that I heard about it years ago, but I really needed to dig deeper into it. It's an extremely strange case, and the idea that there might be a chance to find Amy, no matter how little, gives me hopes. Alright, let's start our story about this amazing, I might say, girl, because she was very young. She was brilliant. So, Amy Lynn Bradley was born on the 12th of May 1974 in Virginia, USA. And when she was only 23 years old, she completely vanished while she was on board a cruise liner called Rhapsody of the Seas. She has been missing for 24 years. Amy was a brilliant girl, a part of being stunningly beautiful and accomplished athlete. She she was really smart, and she, after graduating from high school, she had to choose between a lot of prestigious universities, but she chose to attend a local one close to her home because she was really connected, to say so, with her family. They had, the members of the Bradley families had special bond. So she attended this local university, and she graduated with a degree in physical education. She was, as I have told you, an accomplished athlete. She attended with a scholarship in basketball, attended university. She had extremely strong swimming abilities, and she even had previously worked as a lifeguard. Amy was kind-hearted, generous. She loved her family. She loved animals. She had just adopted a dog whose name was Daisy. She had a boyfriend, and she was planning to start a new job at a computer company. So the whole future was ahead of her, and I have no doubts that it would have been a brilliant future, a nice career, because she was hardworking and she did everything right. So Amy's parents were Ron and Ivor Bradley, and she had a brother. Her father, Ron, had received as a gift from work an invitation to go on a cruise, and he was very excited about sharing this with his family. Both Amy's parents were excited about this, even her brother Brad. Of course, Amy was invited to go also because they wanted to have a special moment together before their children would leave their family nest, to say so. But Amy, I think she had some kind of feeling. She was reluctant to go. She didn't really want to go. She was somehow not comfortable with the idea of being in the middle of the sea. She was afraid of heights also, so she didn't really want to go. But after thinking and thinking about this, she finally became excited to go also, and she started to prepare for this. But it's interesting to know that sometimes we might feel that something could go wrong. We receive some kind of warning. Do you believe in such things? Because I really do. So she decided to go, and she really thought that she would enjoy this. So Amy decided to join her family on this cruise vacation on the Royal Caribbean International Cruise Ship Rhapsody of the Seas, and the route was for Curaçao, a Dutch Caribbean island. And on the 21st of March 1998, Amy and her family boarded on this cruise towards Curaçao. And for the first 2 days everything was perfectly fine. They were having the time of their lives. On the early morning on Monday 23rd March 1998, Amy and Brad decided to go to the nightclub on the cruise to dance. Records show that Brad decided to return to his cabin to rest, but Amy didn't follow him. Brad entered his cabin about 3:35 a.m. and Amy followed him minutes later. The two talked for a while before heading to bed, going to bed. Around 6 a.m., their father awoke and went to check on his daughter, and she was not able to find her. But prior to this, Amy's father woke up sometimes between 5:15 and 5:30 and went to check on both his children. And he saw Amy sleeping on the chaise-longue of their cabin balcony. And he went back to sleep. He got up again at around 6, and she was missing. She took with her only her cigarettes and her lighter. Of course, her father tried to find her, and he couldn't. He didn't really know what to think, because it was unlike Amy to disappear without telling appearance where she was going. They had a very close relationship, and they used to tell everything, to share everything. After Ron searched the common areas of the cruise, he decided to wake up the rest of the family and told them that Amy was missing, and it was around 6:30. So when on the 20th of March 1998, Amy and her family boarded on this cruise. 2 days later, Amy and her brother decided to spend the night dancing to a nightclub party on the ship, and of course they had a few drinks. There was a guy who was a member of the ship's band who approached Amy, and they had a few drinks together, and they even danced together. And his name was Alistair Douglas, known as Yellow. And this Yellow later on would claim that he left the party around 1 a.m. After around 2 hours, Brad decided to go back to his cabin. So it was around 3:35 a.m. The ship's door lock system recorded that Brad returned to the cabin at 3:35, and Amy followed 5 minutes later. They then sat together on the balcony and talked for a while. Brad went to his cabin to go to sleep, and Amy stayed awake for a little longer, and she fell asleep. Her father woke up around 5:15 and saw her sleeping. And when he woke up again around 6 o'clock, he couldn't find her daughter anywhere. So between 5:30 and 6, Amy vanished without any trace. Amy's family went directly to the captain and reported the missing case, and asked for help. But the team, they wanted the team to make a ship-wide announcement in order to find Amy. But the team declined, saying that this would disturb the other passengers and that it was too early to make such an announcement. Finally, the crew agreed to make an announcement, and they did so at about 7:50 a.m. after the majority of the passengers left the ship, and they simply asked Amy Bradley to come to the desk. Between 12:15 p.m. and 1 p.m. The cruise staff searched the ship, but Amy was nowhere to be found. They almost ignored Amy's family. They allowed all the passengers to disembark. So they acted really strangely, and from what I've learned back then, there were no laws in order to protect the people. There were international waters. It was hard. The Netherlands Coast Guard conducted a 4-day search that ended on the 27th of March 1998, and the Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines chartered the boat to continue looking for her. But they could find nothing. At first, the authorities thought that Amy had fallen overboard, intentionally or not. And I must admit that years ago, when I heard about this case, I tended to think the same. But now, as I dig deeper, I found out that they were really close to the shore, and Amy was an extremely good swimmer. So, in a way of another, they might have found her. But there was no trace of her. They were not just in the middle of the ocean. They were close to the shore. It was hard to believe that it happened like this, because Amy was known to be a very strong swimmer. And as I have told you, her body was never found in the waters, and there was no evidence of foul play. On the morning of the disappearance, the passengers told Amy's father that they saw a woman matching Amy's description take an elevator to the ship's deck, having cigarettes and a lighter in her hand. But that was it. They could not find something more about this. There was another witness who was a cab driver, and who said that a woman matching Amy's description approached him and asked for a phone. But this has never been confirmed by authorities. Right after Amy's disappearance, her parents and her brother were advised to disembark, to leave the ship, and they did so. hoping that they would continue to look for Amy, but they didn't really do too much. In August 1998, a man claimed that he had seen Amy walking with two men on a beach in Curacao 5 months after her disappearance. The man said that the woman heard him speaking English and she tried to get his attention, but he lost sight of her at a nearby cafe. The woman's tattoos were identical to Amy's, as the man said that he was really close to her and he could see that she had a Tasmanian devil tattooed on her shoulder. Next year, in January 1999, a US Navy claimed to have seen a woman who claimed to be Amy Bradley at a special house in Curacao. This special house offered a special adult service, to say so. He claimed that she confessed that her name was Amy Bradley and she begged for help, that she was held against her will and she was not allowed to leave. But this officer was not supposed to be there to attend such houses, to say so, and he was afraid to say anything, so he contacted Amy's family only after he had retired and saw her picture in media. Authorities followed this lead but couldn't find any evidence to support his claim. In 2005, a woman claimed to have seen Amy in a restroom in Barbados. She claimed that the woman entered the restroom accompanied by 3 men who threatened her. So, after the men had left, she approached the woman who was obviously in distress. And the woman told her that her first name was Amy and she was from Virginia. This woman called authorities and they created sketches of these 3 men and the woman based on this lady's account. Along the years, Amy's case have been revisited for a couple of times. It was presented on TV TV shows, and in the fall of 1999, Amy's parents received an email from someone who proclaimed himself to be Navy SEAL soldier Frank Jones. He told the family that he was a former US Army Special and that he had a team of experienced soldiers, and he would help them rescue Amy. This Frank claimed that he saw Amy. And even sent pictures to the family to prove that. The team gave the description of Amy's tattoos. So they believed Frank. I guess when you're desperate and you find somehow a way out, you want to believe with all your heart that might be a solution. So over the next few months, Frank would send to the family different reports on seeing their daughter. They made them believe that she was alive. They gave them hopes. He told them that he was going to rescue her, but he needed more money. And the Bradleys sent Frank a lot of money in order to fund this search and rescue. And they waited for Frank and his team to rescue Amy, but they stopped receiving any news. And this Frank Jones had made the story up and scammed the family of money. How cruel could someone be to do something like this to a desperate family? What do some people have instead of a heart? Just a black hole without nothing in it. So this Frank was charged with defrauding the Bradleys of a great sum of money, and also the National Missing Children's Organization, who raised money for Amy. He pleaded guilty of mail fraud, and he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Later on, they received the news that jawbone was found on the beach, being washed up in Aruba, on the beach in Aruba in 2010. So it was thought that it was the jawbone of another missing persons case, Natalie Holloway, and I have just presented her case in one of my latest videos. once the jawbone was cleared, so it was on Natalie's, authorities ceased any further testing. And despite the fact that there were 9 other Caribbean persons that were said to be missing, no DNA testing was done on this. They said that the bone was human and was likely from Caucasian origin. An image of a young woman resembling Amy was emailed to her parents, and it was suggested that she might have been sold. So she was a victim of human traffic. And an email was sent to the Bradleys containing 2 photographs of a woman that really looked like Amy. These 2 photographs were observed by a member of an organization that tries to track victims on sites. The woman in the photo appeared to be really distraught, and her nickname was Jazz. So let's see again. Amy went on a cruise together with her family. At a certain point, she went dancing together with her brother. The ship was close to the shore. They returned their cabin, docked for a little, and Amy remained to sleep on the balcony. Her father woke up and saw her around 5:30. He woke up again at 6, and she wasn't there any longer. She disappeared, taking with her only her cigarettes and her lighter. Her parents told that while they were having dinner, one of the waiters approached them, which was really strange, and asked them, before Amy's disappearance, and asked them about Amy, where she was. And they asked why, what for? Why are you interested in this? And they told the waiter told the parents that he and his fellows wanted to invite her to a bar in Aruba. And strangely, it was the same bar where Natalie would disappear later. So that is really strange. And when Amy heard about the invitation, she was totally freaked out. She said that those waiters were creepy and she wouldn't go anywhere with them. That night she talked and danced with that whose nickname was Yellow. That guy even passed a lie detector test. He said that he left the party around 1 a.m., but still. There were passengers who saw him around 6 in the morning, bringing Amy something colored to drink, something that looked like Coke or coffee. Which is really strange again. There are a lot of theories. As I have told you, I tended to believe that she really fell overboard. Maybe she felt sick. But she was afraid of heights, and I don't think that she really did so. I don't think that she would have done this intentionally, because she had all the reasons in the world to leave. She had just adopted a dog, she had a boyfriend, she was about to have a wonderful job, so the future was ahead of her. She had a wonderful family, there was no reason for her to do so. What are the other theories? One of these is that she was kidnapped and sold into illegal human trafficking industry in the Caribbean. This theory is supported by various sources of evidence, including that US Navy officer who claimed that he met her, and also supported by that photos that were emailed to Amy's family. Amy's mother remembers that she was very admired. People watched her admiringly when she was on that cruise. Again, there were those suspicious band members on the cruise on the night of her disappearance. The inconsistent story of Yellow presented to the authorities. He said one thing and the CCTV captured totally different things. Many people also suspect that those waiters were also involved with the disappearance. In addition, the professional photographer had printed out all photos taken throughout the cruise to be sold at the store, but the family could not find any of Amy's photos, and they think that the photos had been taken by somebody on purpose. There is another theory about foul play, and this theory suspected that Amy was murdered on the ship and thrown overboard. The only evidence supporting this theory is the discovery of a jawbone which washed ashore of a beach in Aruba, but that jawbone had never been tested. was declared legally deceased 12 years after her disappearance on 21st of March 2010. There is currently a reward offered for any info that could potentially lead to the recovery of Amy Lynn Bradley, or leads to an arrest or conviction of the person or persons responsible for her disappearance. On top of this reward offered by the authorities, the family offers additional rewards for info leading to her safe return, or for info leading to her current location. Amy is still missing. So what I think that human trafficking really is serious lead, and in spite of being considered some kind of conspiracy theory, this thing really exists. And I know that they really choose their victims among poor young women who are easy to manipulate and so on, but Amy was some kind of trophy. I think that if she had fallen overboard, she might have been found in a way or another. But I have another suspicion, to say so. I don't know what to think, but there are many people involved into this. It's not a single person who does this. It's strange that she hasn't found along the possibility to send a message to her family. So let's hope that she is still alive, and maybe one day the truth would come out to the surface. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this. And thank you very much for listening. And be safe. Take care of you and of your children. Good night from Italy. See you next time. Don't forget to leave a like, a comment